Hey guys, Rick Ginn here. And one of the biggest questions I get is, how do I get my first wholesale deal? And what I decided to do is break down a presentation and show you step by step on how to get started on getting your first wholesale deal. I just wanted to showcase what I actually do on my personal YouTube channel. So if you're ready to get your first deal, make sure you're subscribed to the Rick Ginn YouTube channel, and let's get into it. How to get your first wholesale deal. And like, before you tune me out and you're an experienced wholesaler, this is a great basic fundamental video to teach you and remind you on what you're really supposed to be doing in wholesaling. In fact, I find most people do wholesaling, they don't have the fundamentals down, and that's why they mostly struggle. And for all you that are gravitating towards all these advanced strategies, these AI and all this other stuff, I'm here to tell you, until you get the core of wholesaling, you're going to struggle in it. In fact, I went through this journey myself a long time ago. So the first thing you have to do when you get started in wholesaling is you have to have a belief system. And here's the problem with most of you. Your belief system's broken. I know mine was when I started wholesaling. It was terrible. I tried a lot of things. I tried the corporate world. I tried getting a college education. I tried working for multiple companies in different sales positions. And I did make money, but it never fulfilled me and it never made me happy. And for that reason, I want you to understand is we all want to believe in something, but here's the fundamentals of life. This is past wholesaling, but it's so true in wholesaling. If you don't believe with all your heart what you're doing is helping people and fulfilling like what you're meant to be on this earth, please don't do it. It's really that simple. Let me give you an example. I used to work for Enterprise Leasing. 11 years with this company. I gave them absolutely everything. I did sales, I trained, I was, I don't know, whatever, assistant branch manager, regional, all the way to a vice president. And I'm here to tell you, I never believed in what I did because the company just got so focused on like making profits, and part of them was just the cutting back. So every time I grew my piece of the pie, they would cut it down. And I was constantly chasing a carrot and I was never going to get anywhere. And I was working longer and harder hours. My bosses only got worse. And that's when I made a decision to join wholesaling. Now, here's the problem. When I jumped into wholesaling, I didn't know what to believe. Honestly, nobody ever talked about this. And a lot of people think they're going to go into wholesaling, you're going to do a deal real quick, you're going to put a bunch of money in your bank account and everything's going to be fine. Honestly, it's the farthest thing from your truth. So the first thing we always start with wholesaling is your belief. What is your belief of wholesaling? Mine was simple. I want to use wholesaling to get financially free, but my number one top priority, I wanted to be able to make enough money to support my family. I was willing to go backwards, which I think everybody watching this live stream agrees with. But my biggest thing is I just wanted freedom of my time to do what I want. And a lot of times working as an entrepreneur, you actually get less time in the beginning. I know that sounds weird, but it is true. But my belief was I want to get financially free, and more important, I want freedom of my time. I had 2 young children at the time. My father bailed on me when I did a lot of stuff as a child, and it still sticks to me this day. So it's one of the reasons why I have the relationship with my kids I do now, because any parents on here know it goes by very fast. Now, here's the problem. Most of you stop at the belief system, and that is the problem. The belief system is just a theory, and that's the problem with it. It is a theory. It is classroom style. You can believe anything you want in life, but the reality is, what are you going to do when you get pressed and tested? And so you have to put a layer. So if this is belief, you have to have a layer around it, and that layer is basically called conviction. And conviction is just the statement says, no matter what, I'm going to do this, period. It doesn't matter if my mom, my dad attacks me, my sister, my neighbor, my cousin, my ex-boss, my ex-girlfriend, my ex-boyfriend. It doesn't matter, because in my heart of hearts, I know this is the path to where I need to get. And I know it's not going to be easy, but I'm willing to do what it takes. That is conviction. That is what most of you are missing. Actually, your belief is you're like a jellyfish when you get out there, and the minute somebody shoots something at you, you just fall apart and you melt. The conviction is your armor. It is your suit. It's what protects your belief. Your conviction's what goes out there and does the fight and makes you strong. Now, you're going to have a lot of doubters and a lot of naysayers, but I'm telling you, if you don't have conviction, you have a 0% chance of succeeding in wholesaling. Why? I see it every day. Every one of you have a belief. I don't doubt that for a minute, but you guys leave the door when it comes to conviction. And until you get that conviction and make that commitment. Now, conviction isn't a theory. It's not a theory. It is your ability to do something in spite of. It's your courage. And you have to show up every day with it. Why? Because I guarantee you're going to get attacked. The problem with the belief system is like going to Disney World. Everything's manufactured for you. Everything sounds perfect. And it's not like you are going to get attacked. It's not if, it's when. Guaranteed you. So you have to have that belief system and you have to wrap it with conviction. If you don't do that, the rest I teach you in wholesaling will never work. And most people try to take the theory of wholesaling, they take their belief system, and the minute they get shot down, they come running back to me and Zach and go, oh my God, they said no, or like, I can't sell the property, can't do this. It's because you didn't understand wholesaling. So once we understand that, the next one is, dude, stop taking advice from non-doers. What's a non-doer? Person that never takes any risk in their life, that wants to play it safe, that wants that safe paycheck, that wants just safety. That's all they want. And in return, they give up on their dreams and they settle. Now, don't take it personal because I was this guy. I tried this method. I promise you, it sucks. It sucks so bad. It's miserable. It will not fulfill you. So even if you have enough money to pay your bills and you keep your family safe, at the end of the day, is it really going to fulfill you? You're only on this earth so long. Do you really just want to go out and get a paycheck, get your benefits, and go on your 1 or 2 week vacation and call it a day? You were never meant for that. Now, there's going to be a price to get past it. And here's the reality is most people aren't willing to pay it. But here's the first thing that you have to do to get in wholesaling. You have to stop taking advice from people that have never been in the game. I'm sorry, if you take advice from your parents and they take that good, safe job, thank them, hug them, and love them for what they got you to. But it's now time for you to step up and do what you need to do. The reality is a lot of our parents messed us up. It's just the truth. And we still love them. But at some point you have to take accountability moving forward. Just because your past was like this screwed up time, it doesn't mean that's going to represent the forward. You've got to let it go and you've got to take accountability moving forward. The reality is if you take advice from people that just barely get by, are okay just doing average, you are going to be exactly like them. You don't believe me? Take a look around. And the biggest thing you guys are mostly scared of is I talk to a lot of young people, it's going to be your parents. Now, I'm not telling you not to respect your parents, but if your parents are struggling, if they're always fighting over money and they don't have a lot of time for you, you might want to look into if you're getting the best advice. I know I got really bad advice as a kid. Our parents love us unconditionally. That's the problem. They want you to be safe. The reality is they're projecting of what their desires onto you because if you stay safe, they don't have to ever worry about you. And they don't have to think about it, and it saves them a lot of mental capacity. But the reality in return, it doesn't make you happy, it doesn't make you fulfilled, and you're not gonna get freedom of your time, and you're definitely not gonna get financially free. The reality is, if you settle and you go for work and do that 9 to 5 thing, you are working on someone's dreams while yours fall apart. I've done this, guys. I got 12 years I put into it. 12 years. You know how many days, how many hours I worked? I'm just telling you. Some people are fine having a job and that's fine. And I'm not talking to those people, but I assume if you're tuning in on this, you just want more in life. So stop settling what most of this planet Earth, the people around, they're just average, meaning they just want to get by. You are something special and you're going to have to do different things. So once you understand you have to have the belief, that's the easy part. The conviction, hard. Because you have to stay steadfast when you get attacked. And if you do not stand up, you don't have conviction and your belief will be destroyed. So once you accept the conviction route and you decide to stop asking people that don't play in the game at all, meaning they just play small, they never want to take a risk in their life, and they're too scared of what might happen to them, if you take advice from those people, you're not going to get anywhere. So after that, once you commit to all three, start out at freewholesaling.com. It's easy, it's free. Honestly, I've taken out almost every guru by offering my stuff free. People say, why does he offer it for free? Why? Because the better you become, the more people I attract, the more deals I can JV and partner on, and honestly, the more value I provide to the wholesaling community. I don't know why it's so hard to wrap people's heads around why me and Zach do stuff for free. We do tons of deals. So the old method is I have to collect all the money through coaching because I don't want to take any risk because I'm not sure if my stuff works. And why not take the easy and the safe route and just take the coaching money? As opposed to me, whereas I pay all this money to do these coaching programs, I host it, support it, shoot videos, do editors in the whole 9 yards, knowing that if I provide enough value, it's all going to come back to me. Well, 4 years, nobody honestly even comes near to what me and Zach do in the wholesaling community. And I've been doing this for 21 years. And I love what I do. But I'm telling you, this business is simple. We way too complicated it. And a big part of it is the gurus. So instead of paying a guru $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, just go over to freewholesaling.com and it fixes your problem right there. So now that we've got the basis to get it started, there's only one thing I need you to do moving forward. Ready? Your mental focus. You have your belief, you have your conviction, you stop taking advice from people that have no business telling you. You focus on getting one deal. Stop trying to worry about getting your 1,000th deal. Do you know how long it's taken me to get to the point I am? Over 3,000 deals. Do you know how much work that is? It wasn't done in year one, I promise you. It was steady building brick by brick by brick by brick, and it never stops. What you have to do is have one common goal. Focus on getting your first wholesaling deal. Nothing else really matters. Sorry. Stop complicating it. I want to do 20 deals this year, 30. Unless you do one, you're not doing 10, 20, or 30. End of story. So once we accept the facts I just gave you above, actually, no, I'm sorry. The facts I'm going to give you below here, we know exactly what we need to do. So guys, use the comments, introduce yourself. Okay, I'm queuing up some comments here. Let's see. So let's accept the facts. You ready? Real simple. I'm going to roll you through it. I know this is the basic, guys, but I'm telling you, if you don't get the core of wholesaling, no matter how advanced of a strategy you get from an advanced guru, it will never work because you're going to be attacked. Watch. Number one, here's fact number one. This is every guru leaves this on the side. Like, why? I'll tell you why. Wholesaling is hard work required from you. There's no substitute. It doesn't matter if you paid me $100,000 or I gave it to you for free. You cannot substitute the hard work that you're going to have to put in the wholesaling. You will never see this flashing across your screen on any guru course. Why? Because it doesn't sell. It doesn't translate the dollars in their bank accounts. Remember, when you sell a course, here's what happens is I trade my risk reward because you pay me up front. I've eliminated my risk, and honestly, it's brainless, right? Now, if you're a true entrepreneur and you believe in what you do, which I do, then why not just teach you how to do it and we profit together? I can't make you do a deal with me. I can only have you want to work with me. How do I do that? I offer an insane amount of information and I back it up by like doing deal after deal, which is all me and Zach do. You get how it's just different. So provide the value and not ask for something monetary in return, which we ask everybody to do is start in wholesaling. Go out there and bust your butt. You might not get paid the first 30 days or the first 90 days or first 6 months. But then you ask a guru to do it. It's the complete opposite stance. Why? Because it's safe. A course is like a paycheck. It's safe. They don't take any risk. And honestly, do they care if you succeed or not? You know the answer to that. So here's the disclaimer every wholesaler needs to know. It's going to require you to work. I've never seen somebody just sign up for wholesaling and deals just came to them when they did nothing. In fact, if you think like that, you should probably run and go do something else. You could go, there's so many other things that you can do. It's crazy. So I'm going to let you know, once you accept this truth, this part's easy. You're going to have to avoid the shortcuts. And God knows you're going to be presented so many shortcuts in this business. Hey, here's how you do wholesaling and you don't have to compete with all those wholesalers like Rick and Zach. That's translation for I'm going to sell you something that sounds so good. You're going to buy it, but like it's never going to deliver. Because if it was that good, I'd be doing it. They're going to rename and try to retitle wholesaling. They're going to do like these crazy names. I'm not even going to name them on here. They're like endless. It's all a joke. And here's how you tell when a guru's pushing you. It's ad after ad after ad. In fact, you're probably watching this, probably a guru flashing below on your YouTube or your Facebook thing. This is how desperate they are for your money. You are a mark. And why not? Is it easier to flip a student or flip a property? I already know the answer to that. It would be so easy for me and Zach just to launch a course and just sit back and take millions and millions of dollars. But like, that is what a sprinter does. You know, I don't do that. I teach about marathon wholesaling. You see, whoever can hold their breath the longest in business usually is going to win. That means who can do the most without asking for anything and then create your value so high that everybody wants to do business with you. Or you're going to be that guy or gal that just constantly, I got a course. And once they get a course, it's the same thing over and over. People lose interest. The value's not there. And that's why they all die off. Honestly, guys, in the last 5 years, actually the last probably 7 or 8 years, go back and look at all the wholesaling course, all the rages that everybody thought was, oh my God, this guy or gal is so amazing. Guess what? They're no longer in wholesaling. They said real estate's too hard and they're off doing other things. Some are interior designers, some are coaches for all the other coaches in the universe. And like, that's it. They don't belong in wholesaling because they they don't have the conviction. They couldn't handle it. They were constantly looking for an out. Why would you take advice from people looking for an out? And then my favorite is, no, if you sign up for my course, it's evergreen. It's a lifetime membership. Who's lifetime? Because by the way, guys, I have like 20 of them. Not one of them is still up and running. Why? Not my courses I've taken just like you guys, because I got sucked in on the lifetime. It's all BS because they sell these companies over and over, and then they go on to what they say, better ventures, and they just, translation, they go on to the next scam. Somehow wholesaling attracts so many scammers, and I completely credit social media to that, but you need to find people that are in this business for the long haul. So now that you know the basics, we have to get into marketing 101 for wholesaling. Well, this is where the real meat and potatoes of this work. So let's roll into this. You've got to understand, I'm reading comments while I do this. Rule number 1 when it comes to marketing and wholesaling, motivated sellers. If you don't have a motivated seller, you are literally wasting your time. If you want more on that, go over to freewholesaling.com. I'm going to beat this into your brain just like my son does. You have to deal with motivated sellers. What's a motivated seller? Someone that needs to sell their home, not somebody that wants to sell their home. People that want to sell their home go to Zillow, they go to realtors, and they go to FSBO sites. People that need to sell their home find cash buyers, wholesalers, people just like you and me. End of story. So stop spending all your time with the realtors and hunting online because you are taking your old belief system and you're basically taking bits and pieces what me and Zach teach you, and you think that's wholesaling, and it's not. It's not even close. And this is where I see a huge problem with wholesalers is I'd rather you do like all your energy is devoted towards marketing. Think of it like this. You're basically trying to find somewhat, it's not a needle in a haystack. It's a 2x4 in a haystack, but the haystack's big. You have to go through as much as that haystack as humanly possible. The more you dedicate and consistently go through that haystack, the more often you're going to find 2x4s. If you don't do it, you're waiting for a 2x4 to hit you in the head and it ain't going to come. So motivated sellers is the rule number 1. Now we're narrowing this down. The next activity, we're going to teach over at freewholesaling.com how to do list building. And list building is basically taking motivated sellers and then finding the highest probability for them and build a list. These are what we call prospects. These are people that are behind on their taxes, people that are on some sort of special list, which I'm going to go over. And it usually indicates if they're behind on their mortgage, they're behind on their taxes, they're behind on anything, they typically need to sell these houses. The key word here is need, not want. People want to sell their house. They're going to go through the entire real estate agent dog and pony show, and you want to do that. So if I want to find motivated sellers, stuck here, I'm going to do list building. So let's narrow it down. Specifically, if you're starting out in this game, you want to go attack government lists. If you want to know about every government list out there, go over to freewholesaling.com. I know I'm a broken record, but I only have so much time to go through this. That's why we developed freewholesaling.com. So you had a thorough place that you could go and watch video, and take downloads of templates over and over. Now, your government list, as I said earlier, You're going to have pre-foreclosures, tax delinquencies, code violations, probates, eviction lists. These lists go on and on and on. Like I can go on forever. Freewholesaling.com, you get the drift on that. Now, that's how we get our target market. That's what we're attacking. So what's next? We have to do a marketing medium. And all a marketing meeting is simply delivering your message. So I see some of the comments. Delivering your marketing message. That's it. That's all it is. So how do we do it? What's the most efficient way if I'm focusing on getting my first deal? I already told you government list, and I'm going to give you some simple techniques. And I always focus on a free way for you to do it. Why? Number one, a lot of you are broke. I get it. I was broke when I started this out. So I have a special place right here because from one broke guy to another, I didn't have money to do this. In fact, I was in a huge hole. I was way in over my head on debt. So a lot of you are starting out like 17, 18, like I don't have any money. Perfect. But you don't owe any money, so you're ahead of most people anyways. You haven't taken, hopefully you haven't taken on a spouse yet that young. You don't have a mortgage. Hopefully you don't have credit card debt. You are actually richer than most people in America. America is drowning in debt. Our government alone is up to $34 trillion. Honestly, I don't know if they even see a way out of it. And I've gotten to the point where I just don't think it's going to get fixed. Now, go to the regular average American in the United States. Most people owe way more than what they're worth. So if you look at it, you're 17, 18, and you don't owe any money, but you don't have a lot of, maybe you got $50 in your bank account, you're ahead of probably half the America, period. So look at it as a plus. And by the way, your youth is a massive asset. Sorry. There's one thing that money cannot buy is your time back. Now, can it buy time of others? Absolutely. But it can't buy your own personal time back. If we did, we'd all try to do it one way or the other. So number one, my favorite one, driving for dollars. Just get in your car, look for ugly houses, write down the address. Don't complicate this. You can do it on a pen and pad just like I did. You can go to dmzack.com and use a sophisticated app through Deal Machine. But either way, just get in the damn car and look. I still do it to this day. That's how great it is. I love it. To me, it's like the thrill of the hunt. It is like going out fishing for me. I'm fishing for wholesale deals. Number two, reverse driving for dollars. That is simply taking one of your government lists. I'm going to give you two examples right now. Number one, your code violation list, an amazing list. You get that list, you do reverse driving for dollars. Why? You just take that list. You can use dmzack.com. It'll sort your list, put it in chronological order, and you put sticky notes on the door. Why is it so effective? Because the note says, hey, this is John, just got a quick question. You put your virtual phone number on there. People gonna call you back. Why? Because you are engaging what we call people's curiosity. See, marketing is all about creating intrigue and curiosity. Whoever creates the most, legally and ethically, is always gonna win in marketing. That's why you see all these crazy ads and stuff going on, but we're not Nike, we're not Coke, we gotta figure a way to do it ourselves. I call this being resourceful. Reverse driving for dollars works well. List number two works very, very well on driving for the reverse driving for dollars is tax delinquency. Why? They don't open the mail because it's all bills. And number two is they're going to answer their phones because every bill collector in town is calling them. So those are the two lists I use for reverse driving for dollars. Why is reverse driving for dollars so effective? Because it's your own private list. And by putting that note on the door, you invoke curiosity. And curiosity kills the cat, and that's how it works on there. So I'm going to give you some additional ones. Bandit signs. A lot of you guys overlook it. Listen, when you're broke, this is dynamite. In fact, when I was back in my heyday doing this, we used to print thousands of signs. I mean, thousands. I actually bought the machine to produce these signs. I think it was $46,000. Don't get me started. It was a huge distraction, and I don't advise you doing it. Now, knowing what I know after 21 years, I'm here to tell you, don't buy this crap and get it ordered over the internet. You are wasting tons of money and you don't know what you're doing. And it's very expensive to ship. And these are derived from barrels of oil, basically, the ink, the coroplast, and it's very expensive. So here's what I said. So the average order, if you ordered 100 signs, you're going to spend up to $500 plus shipping. 1,000 is going to be a lot worse. And a lot of you guys get sucked in buying bulk. Just go get 10 or 15 signs from your local sign vendor or one of the big box stores. And then the next thing I need you to get is simply get one of those big fat Sharpie pens. And you're going to put 3 lines on it. Sell your house today, any price, any condition or any situation, and your phone number. Hold on, guys. I got to fix one thing. Some technical difficulties on my monitor here. That's it. I love Bandit Signs. Now, do them in white, black ink, one side. 3 lines max, just like I told you. Sell your house today, any condition, any situation, and a big fat phone number. That's it. Put out 10 or 15 signs and just keep them moving around every week. I like to put them out Thursday evening. And then if I ain't got a lot of money, I'm going to go back. I might be able to pick up half the signs, and I repurpose those signs. And number 2, it makes you appear much bigger than you are. And also look for people that put out signs. Now, there's 2 predominant companies that like to put out signs. Past politicians. Number 1, it is the mattress guys. And then number 2 is going to be the dating sites. Things going off on that. So I've always enjoyed Bandit Signs. Now, if you go over to freewholesaling.com, we'll teach you how to do the digital Bandit Signs. And that is a great way. And we just teach you how to get into Facebook groups, Instagram groups, and basically get traffic on your message. So go over there and check it out. I only got so much time to go through all this stuff. The next one, networking. Do not overlook this, guys. Networking is wonderful. One of the best places to network is going to be with property management companies, with bail bondsmen. If you go to your local RIAs, real estate investment groups, it never stops. Realtors obviously fall in this one. I wouldn't start out with realtors if I was just trying to get my first deal. Now we know where to get our list. We know how to deliver the message. What's next? This is the specialty part that me and Zach teach. And I want you to understand that. So let me do this. I'm getting ready to wrap up here. And if any of you guys want to hop on a live, I got a little bit extra time today. And I will go ahead and put it in the comments here. And let's see here. First come, first serve, baby. Okay. So once we teach you how to pull the list, how to get started, and how to deliver your message, it's simple. This is the skill set that me and Zach teach the most, that no other wholesalers are going to teach you. So it's important that you're a really good marketer, but you have to learn how to build massive amount of rapport. In fact, this is the only thing that's going to separate you from any of your competition or anybody else that you're going to go up against. And in summary, because I'm not going to teach you all in this live stream on how to build rapport because it's a longer conversation. Go over to freewholesaling.com. Is you have to have 3 basic fundamental things to connect with people. Now, if you want to understand, like, what the hell is he talking about? It's simple. Think about when you talk to friends you really enjoy being around or family members you really love and you just love conversing with. It comes natural, it's fun, it's complimentary, and both sides feel like they get a tremendous value from it. That's what you're looking to achieve. But most people struggle when talking to strangers because they can't quite get that connection and they don't know how to bottle that magic. That is what I teach. That's what I'm best at, and I'm really good at connecting with people. So number 1, you got to learn authenticity. Actually, once you learn to become authentic, you can't be duplicated. You're so unique. And what happens, you'll notice even in the wholesaling business, a lot of gurus, they grow up to try to be like their guru. And although it's commendable, it's a huge mistake. Why? Because if you start talking like them, that's one thing. That's fine to learn the language. But if you start dressing like them, acting like them, and literally try to mirror them at all times, well, you accomplish that, but you lost who you were. And now, how many other people you think took that same prescription you did? Now you got thousands of other people competing, acting, talking, walking, dressing just like you. It's ridiculous, guys. Go out there and be yourself. I'm not telling you to go out there and run around with your shirts off and stuff like that, but be you. I worked in corporate America for 12 years and I decided there's only 2 places I'm wearing a suit. Well, a little bit more than that. But the reality is, unfortunately, it's going to be a funeral and most likely a wedding. Past that, you will never, ever catch me in like a suit. I don't wear a jacket. You know why gurus, when gurus go in a room, they're all told to wear a jacket? This is what I was told. I sat in these guru training things. It goes, this is how you command the room. You have a jacket. You draw attention to yourself. That's called the ego. I'm here. You're here. For you to get to me, you're going to have to pull money out of your pocketbook and get there. Okay? It doesn't do it. I mean, even the great Tony Robbins doesn't wear a jacket. And he says, because I want to be me. I want to be authentic. So next time you see a guru on stage with a jacket, I just want you to remember it is a cult, a following. And remember, they're supposed to be an entrepreneur, they're supposed to be independent, but they're selling out for the mighty dollar to convince you they're a super slick salesman. I just like, why would you get in the business to wear a jacket? It doesn't make any sense. Executives wear jackets. Why? Because they're owned by corporations and they have to. There is no choice. If you don't dress in a suit, you get fired. End of story. The next thing you got to do is you got to have amazing conversations. End of story. Conversations. Notice I didn't say scripts. I didn't say bullet points. I didn't say sales presentations. You're going to have to build and take your report and switch it over and turn it into a conversation. If you can't do that, it's lights out in this business and it's a struggle. And for that reason, I want you to understand that's how we need to do it. So the last thing that's required is your ability of helping sellers. Why? If you don't help sellers, I don't know what you're in the business for. If you're just here to help yourself and your bank account and you don't help sellers, it will never work. That's called a scam artist. And I do not teach these techniques. In fact, I'm here to tell you the process of wholesaling, there's so many people out there trying to sell it as like a get rich quick scheme. It's not. It's get rich steadily and slowly over time is what I would title it. You're not going to get rich overnight. Can you get financially free? That's fine. But even if you get a $50,000 check, you got to go back to work the next day and you got to do it all over again. Otherwise, you just have 50 grand. That's a paycheck. That's a year's salary for a lot of people. You need more. Now, if you could do that every other week or every month, whole different ball game. And that's what we're trying to teach you how to do. So once you get those three things, the authenticity, conversation, helping sellers, then we go in and give you the final piece of the pie that makes you very, very effective in wholesaling. So the reality is most people in wholesaling that get into it, they're so eager by the time they get to the negotiations, they just want to get a yes. And they're so scared that they get what they ask for. They get a yes. Well, they get a yes to a crappy offer because it's too high and no cash buyer is ever going to buy their contract. And for that reason, I singularly developed a technique. I didn't even create it. I just implemented it in the wholesaling business. And I learned this by trial and error after my second year of wholesaling. And it's simply called the go for no approach. And it's used in most industries. And it simply says, you don't want a yes, you want a no. Because if you get a no, then you can find out where the framework of your negotiations is. If you go to a yes, it means you just went to the tippy top of your seller's, what they demanded, and you gave it to them. And you never know how much money you left on the table. Most of the time when you get a yes, you're going to get a lot of no's. A lot of no's from cash buyers. Why? Because you did not push the envelope. In fact, going for no not only gets you a great wholesale deal, it saves you from your own terrible negotiations because we all suck when we started negotiating. I'm sorry. I was the worst when I started this. I don't even know how I landed my first few deals. I just shot out numbers and I figured out if they work. I had a lot of bad contracts. And for that reason, I'm here to tell you, if you go for a no first, it is painful, it is awkward, and it's uncomfortable. It's everything you are avoiding in your life. And once you understand you need to do those things that make you uncomfortable, it's not painful. It's not going to cost you your life or anything like that. But your old belief system is, I got to get yeses. If you go for no with a painful conversation up front, and you build a massive amount of rapport, you will get better wholesale deals. They'll be so easy to sell to your cash buyers, and your negotiations will actually be very short and to the point, the way we want them to. If you go for a yes, you're going to drag it on forever, and you're going to overpay for the property, and you're going to work for free, and you're probably going to quit the business. So once we implement the go for no, it's easy. Freewholesaling.com. It is a little bit more of an advanced strategy. It basically says you should get a no first. No leads to yes. Yes leads to no. Let me repeat that. No leads to yes. Yes leads to no. It is common sense in wholesaling. And remember, guys, I always tell you, a lot of people like to call this sales training in wholesaling. It's not, guys. We are looking for highly motivated sellers. That is the specialty. After that, you just have to walk them down your funnel and help the seller get out of their own way. It's that simple. Go for no. Now, once we do that, it's real simple, guys. We're going to sell our contracts to cash buyers. The key is we are not selling properties. We are not selling real estate. We are selling the contract. That is the fundamental difference you need to understand in wholesaling if you do it any other way. That's where you're going to get in these conversations. I got to get a license. I got to do this. You're going to wind up being a realtor, and you're going to like, I thought I was a wholesaler, but I wound up being a realtor. Do you know how many people I talk to wind up being realtors that were wholesalers? It's absolutely crazy. It's because you guys bought into the hype. Remember, you got distracted. And then all you got to do is simply repeat this process over and over again. That's all it comes down to. And that's what you need to do.